to be talking about how to attain or find a job or internship. So we wanted to start out by talking a little bit about our office, who we are and what we do. So whether you're just getting started on your career journey, maybe you're still exploring different options or areas of interest. Maybe you've started to make progress on things like your resume and cover letter or networking, or maybe you're starting to finish up and you really need help with things like applying to graduate school, job searching, or negotiating. We can help you really wherever you are along that journey. At CPDC, we want to help you figure out what those next steps on your career journey are that are going to be validating and meaningful to you. So we're certainly not here to tell you what you should do. We're really here to support you in ways that are going to honor your interests, your strengths, and your identities. We empower you, as well as recent grads, to continually explore rewarding careers through a variety of different services that we offer in our office. So we've got career coaching appointments. You're welcome to meet with a career coach one-on-one. We offer a ton of different events and programs throughout the semester, including connecting you with employers. We have a ton of free resources that you can use at any point in your career journey. And then we also have a career studio. Traditionally, our career studio is a physical space in our office, but we do have a virtual option of that right now. So we have a live chat feature on our website. You're welcome to utilize that to connect with somebody in our office and get some immediate help if you need it. If you're looking to connect with us, whether that's online or in person, we are located in the Student Services Building, room 350. So we're up on the 3rd floor. Normally we're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. This semester and probably next semester are going to look a little bit different. So we are actually open currently Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., but we are closed over the lunch hour. However, all of our services are available virtually, and so there's no need to come into our office if you want to utilize our virtual services. So you're welcome to connect with us, learn more about our services either on our website. You're welcome to email us or call us at any time. And then if you haven't yet, please follow us on Instagram and on LinkedIn.
All right, so we're going to cover just a few things today. So on our agenda, we're first going to talk about jobs versus internships. And then we have a brief activity for you about values. And then lastly, we'll walk you through Handshake, where you can find jobs and internships.
All right, so we wanted to start off today with a little check-in. Some of you may have had jobs and internships before. And for some of you, this may be a really new thing. And so we kind of wanted to see where you're at and how you're feeling about it on a scale of 1 to 4. So 1 being not at all confident, 4 being feeling very confident. How confident do you feel in searching for jobs and internships? So if you want to put your response in the chat, love to see kind of where you're at so far. Seeing a lot of 3s and 2s, kind of right in the middle at 2.5. I like that, very specific. Okay, lots of 3s and 2s. Oh, good, some 4s. Okay, the good news is I'm not seeing any 1s yet. If you are feeling it a 1 and you didn't want to put it in the chat, hopefully today will kind of help boost your confidence, give you some concrete tools. For those of you who are already feeling on the pretty confident end of the spectrum, again, hopefully today we'll be able to give you some really concrete tools on how to search for and find jobs and internships. And then wherever you are in between there, again, you're always welcome to reach out to us and connect with us via our virtual services so that we can help you feel your most confident self in your job and internship search.
All right, so before we dive in, we wanted to clarify the distinction between jobs and internships, because we know that internships can take on many forms. They can be part-time or full-time, they can be single or repeat experiences, and they can also be paid or unpaid. So due to this, it's understandable that there is confusion about the difference between an internship, a part-time job, or volunteering. So the major distinction is that an internship has learning objectives or goals that serve as a foundation for the position. An internship should apply what you have learned in the classroom to a professional setting. And as a result, you'll gain skills and/or in-depth knowledge of a particular industry. So as you can see here, we would define an internship as having learning objectives or goals that serve as the foundation for your position. And typically you co-create those with your supervisor. An internship is short-term, hands-on work experience where you're applying what you learned in the classroom outside of the classroom. Like we said, it can take on many different forms. It increases your knowledge of a professional career field. And it also provides ongoing quality supervision to guide and mentor you. So that's how we would define an internship.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is a little activity. So I'm gonna drop a file into our chat here so you can pull up our little worksheet. Okay, so if you want to pull up that worksheet that I just put in the chat, we want to do an activity called What is your ideal internship or job? To kind of help you figure out, what jobs you might or should or could apply for. It's really important to think about what your values and needs are in the workplace. For this activity, we define values as things that you need in your workplace, not only to survive, but really to thrive in that environment. So for example, if you need to be able to have access to your supervisor when you have questions, you might value communication. If you need to have some variation in your day-to-day activities, you might value change and variety. So take some time looking at the values that are on that worksheet. We're going to take about the next 3 minutes for this part of our activity to really pick out your top 10 values in the workplace. If you're not sure, or maybe you're having trouble making your list, sometimes it can be helpful to kind of start from the opposite end and just cross out anything that you definitely don't need as a value and kind of work your way backwards. So again, we'll take about the next 3 minutes and we'll come back together at about 10:44 after you've picked your top 10 values. You take about another minute to pick out those top 10 values. Okay, if you're still working, feel free to keep picking out your top 10, but what I'm going to do now is heighten the stakes a little bit, and we're going to cut that list down to 5. So start thinking through, out of that list of 10 that you picked out, what are your top 5 values that you need to feel like you're thriving in the workplace? So we'll take about another 2 minutes to cut that list down to 5. Okay, take about another minute to wrap up. All right, so we'll come back together. I know that values can be a very personal thing, and so I'm not going to ask you all to share out all of your values, but I would like to know, how did that feel to cut down your list to 5? What was that process like? How did that feel? So feel free if you want to unmute or answer in the chat. Someone brave want to share with us? Yeah, thinking about what's most important and how to combine ideas into one. Yeah, I find myself every time I do this trying to figure out, okay, how do I combine things? So I'm not really cutting it down to 5. Oh, good. So it's pretty easy. Already started out with 6. Yeah, Nicole, I'd love to hear more about that. What you mean by breaking away from that. Harder to get to 10, definitely. What else? How did it feel to cut that list down to 5? Nice to be more specific. Yeah, to have really concrete ideas. I think that's the helpful thing is, this list kind of gives you a starting place to really think about your values in a more concrete, specific way, which I think is really helpful. So why do you all think that we had you do this activity? Oh, we got more in the chat. Yeah, couldn't get to 10. Yep, only have 1. Yeah, we'll talk about how sometimes it can actually be helpful to only have one primary value that you're really looking for. Yeah, tailoring it to grad school, definitely. This activity totally applies to really anything that you're planning on doing, thinking through what are your values in the place that you're going to go, whether that's grad school, a job, an internship. Oh, good. That's so good to hear. Yeah, looking at the list, knowing that you're going into the right profession, feeling that is a really, really awesome feeling. Good, good. Okay, so why do you all think that we had you do this activity? Any ideas?
I think it's a really helpful foundation where someone mentioned, I know I'm going into the right profession, but also later when you're struggling or you're frustrated with your job, you can, or you're not like at the level you want to be at, you can remember like, this is what I ultimately care about. And so I can find a plan to still work with my values.
Yeah, I love that, especially knowing that, things change over time, right? And so maybe after working in a job or an internship for a while, you start to realize, okay, maybe this isn't the place for me. How can I realign myself with those values? Yeah, it's important to have a clear goal. Knowing what's important to you can certainly be helpful in the decision-making process, right? So as you're searching for jobs and internships and you're looking at a bunch of different opportunities, how do you make a decision of what you apply to and what you invest your time in? This can be really helpful. Any other ideas of why we had you all do this activity? Yeah, I think another big one that comes to my mind as I do this activity is really getting out of the mindset of there being a perfect or, ideal dream job out there. Because ultimately, as Catherine's saying, like narrowing down what we want in our job search, helping you to negotiate. Oh, I love the idea of having clear boundaries. That is super important. Because as you think about jobs and internships, you're not going to find, you know, the perfect one out there that hits all of those, you know, top 10, top 20 values, all the things that you want. And so it's really, really important to feel, you know, as some folks said in the chat, really clear on what it is that you want and need in the workplace, or in an internship or grad school, to really feel like you're thriving, and to know how to pick and choose sometimes, right? That it may not hit all 10 of those values, but it may hit certain ones. And so kind of being able to make those decisions and think through what you need, and what you're maybe willing to let go of or able to let go of, just knowing that that perfect job may not be out there. And so I think it's really important to kind of do some of that processing and reflection before you launch into a big search process, so that you kind of know, you know, what you've got some wiggle room on and what you really do need to feel like it's a good workplace for you. All right. So what we're going to do is move into our next slide, and then Megan, let me know when you're ready for me to stop screen sharing for you.
Yeah, I am ready whenever you are.
Okay, perfect.
All right. And then I can go ahead and share my screen. All right. So what we're going to do now is walk you through Handshake, which you can see here on the screen. And Handshake is really like your one-stop shop, or the main hub for everything career related, including how to find jobs and internships. And so we're going to walk you through a couple different features of Handshake today, so that, like Devin said, you have tangible tools that you can use to continue your search. So in order to get to Handshake, it's pretty easy. You can go through CIS. You can also go through our careers.utah.edu website. And then once you log in, this is what your homepage will look like. So you can notice there's a couple different menu items here. So the first thing we wanted to show you is that if you click on your little people icon, or if you already have a picture, you can click on it there. You can see your profile as well as career interests. So we wanted to highlight these two places since they're usually the first places we recommend that you start. So if you go to your profile, this is really your opportunity to tell Handshake a little bit more about yourself. Because there's over 400,000 employers all across the country that use Handshake. And so this is your opportunity really to introduce yourself, almost create like a digital resume. So that way employers can find you in Handshake. So you can see here some of your information pulls from CIS. You can include a little biography in your journey. You have education here, work experience and volunteer experience, interests. And then if you scroll down, you also have an opportunity to share about your organizations and extracurriculars, and then courses, skills. So as you can see here, there's quite a few places where you can add information about yourself, and you could even include or upload documents like your resume or a cover letter. And then you can even include projects and hyperlink them. So that way any employers in the system can find them and see examples of your work. So one thing in particular that we wanted to highlight with this is that there is a privacy setting for your profile in Handshake. So when you first log in, you'll notice that your privacy setting will be set to private. And that's because we really want to empower you all to choose what you feel most comfortable with. But we do recommend making your profile visible to employers so that way they can find you for opportunities. So if you want to, you can always change your profile settings here, and you can change your profile from private to public, or you can also change the setting to community. So that way anyone who's using Handshake has the opportunity to find your profile and learn more about you. So that's your profile. And if you haven't logged into Handshake before, you'll probably be prompted to start filling out your profile. Nice thing is you can always come back to it by, again, going to your little picture icon here. So you can continuously update it so it's current with your experience. The next thing we wanted to show you is career interests. So this is a really brief interest survey that Handshake has created to, again, try and figure out what it is that you're currently looking for. So that way it can adapt what opportunities you see so that they align with your interests. So as you can see here, you can identify in Handshake what kind of opportunity you're looking for. So if you're looking for an internship, you can click that, and notice how you can select multiple options. You can also say how you want Handshake to help you right now, any options you're considering after graduation. So we heard some of you say graduate school, others say full-time jobs. So again, you can select any there. You can also say what types of job roles you're interested in, and you can select multiple. And then if you wanted to clear one out, you can just hit the little X. You can also say where you're interested in living, and you can choose multiple locations. And then my favorite part about this survey is it gives you the opportunity to identify industries that you're interested in. So as you can see here, there are many different options. So you can select any industries at all. So you can see here I have quite a few selected. And then at the very bottom, you can also select what kinds of jobs or job functions interest you. So you can see here I have a couple different things selected. And then lastly, you have the opportunity to update your month and date of expected graduation at the bottom. And this helps Handshake know which opportunities you might want to apply for. So whenever you're done submitting this, you can save your career interests. And then if you go to your homepage in Handshake, just by clicking the little Handshake icon in the top left corner, you can notice that as you're scrolling through, Handshake will pull out and identify different jobs and internships that you have selected in your survey. So this is one of the industries that I selected was journalism, media, and publishing, and I selected internships. So you can see there's a couple featured here. I can click on any of those, and I can also see more jobs. So this is just an initial way to see any different opportunities that might interest you. And the cool thing about Handshake is that each of your home pages will look different depending on how much information and what information you share. So just like how Netflix recommends different TV shows or movies that might interest us based on what we've watched, Handshake uses that same machine learning technology to tailor what you see so that it actually meets what you're looking for. And that's why I really love Handshake as a job searching tool. So next, we're going to show you just a couple menu items up here. So if you want to intentionally job and internship search, you can go to the Jobs tab. And then you can see here, there are quite a few different filters that you can use. So there's a general search bar here. You can also use these filters here. So if I'm searching for an internship, you can click on that. And then you can see that right now we have over 2,000 internships available in Handshake. We do update these postings every single day. And another added benefit is that our really talented career ambassadors and our career staff look through all of the internship and job opportunities that employers want to share with you all. And then we go through and hand select and approve each opportunity and make sure that it's high quality so that you're not applying for anything that's a scam or just not trustworthy. So you can really trust the opportunities that you see in Handshake. So you can see over here on the left-hand side, you can scroll through and see different opportunities. You can click on one and then learn more about it. So you'll notice there's the title here, the employer or the company, the location, and then they tell you a little bit about the role. There's a little favorite button here. So if you would like to save this opportunity and come back to it later easily, you can click the little favorite button. And then there's a little saved area right here where you can see it very quickly. You can also apply. So if you click this button, it will prompt you to upload your resume or cover letter through Handshake. Some opportunities also say apply externally. So when you click that, it'll jump you out to wherever the opportunity was posted on that organization's website. You can read about the job role, and so you'll notice different responsibilities here, and you can view the full description. It'll also, Handshake uses the information that you share in your profile to see whether you match the preferred qualifications for that role. But just because you don't meet all of them does not mean you can't apply. So please feel free. And then you can also read more about the organization itself. You can even follow the organization if you're really interested in them. And then you can also see similar jobs that align with that opportunity. And sometimes you can even see student reviews. So students who have interned or worked there before can share reviews. And so that way it's a great opportunity to learn just a little bit more about what it's like to work there, and especially how it might speak to your values, right, that you just did in that activity. So this is the job and internship search. And then again, like I said, you can go to saved. So this is a great way to keep yourself organized when you're searching for jobs and internships. So say you select like 5 that you're interested in, you can see them all here. And it's nice too because they have the application deadline. So that's the job and internship hub. There's also an events tab, and we have career-related events all year round. And so we highly encourage you to check Handshake regularly to see what kinds of events we have upcoming. You can scroll through here. You can see there's lots of different opportunities. A lot of employers host virtual sessions now that you can attend if you want to learn more about different opportunities. So feel free to take a look here. And then during career fair season, you can also click on the career fair button, and then you can see any career fairs that we have coming up. So we just had all of our career fairs about a month ago, but in January and February, we should have more in the spring. So you're welcome to check here and see career fairs. And if you click on them, you can see what employers are attending as well as what opportunities they're recruiting for. All right, and then finally, and I noticed there's a couple of things in the chat, so I'll definitely, we can come back to those in a moment. The last thing we wanted to show you is that there are many resources in Handshake, all of which are free and available to use throughout your time at the U and even after you graduate. So you click on Career Center in the top right, there is a button for resources. And then here you can see everything that we have available. I'm just going to scroll through so you can take note of what is in here. So there's quite a few things. I'm not going to scroll all the way down because I wanted to highlight just one for you today relating to job and internship searching. So there's a job and internship search tool called Career Shift. It's a very powerful search engine that we've purchased as a university. So it's a really high quality tool. You can click here to access it. And then you can just log in. And just note, when you log into CareerShift for the first time, it will prompt you for your UID and your major. And that just helps us keep track of how many students are using it through Handshake. So once you get there, you'll see these different menus here. I'm going to hide this one on the left-hand side. You can click on jobs and then search. And then you can search for any opportunities that you're looking for. So you can use different keywords to search, a company name. The default search criteria is by area or location. And notice how there's even a feature now for searching for remote and work from home jobs. So that might be a good option. If you turn on the advanced search, you can also see there are other criteria you can use. For example, I like to use the job type and select internship when I'm searching for an internship. And you'll notice that CareerShift pulls any opportunities from the last 30 days. So we can try it out. And the main distinction between CareerShift and Handshake is that CareerShift will help you find any opportunities posted anywhere on the internet. So opportunities that are posted on big job boards like Indeed, as well as any opportunities that are posted on individual organizations' websites. A lot of times those are harder to find if you don't already know the name of the organization. So that's why I especially love CareerShift. So it's a nice way to complement your search in Handshake to see what else might be out there. So I'm just going to do a quick one just to show you. So we can do a couple different keywords. Notice how you don't even have to do a comma. It's really easy. So I just did a nationwide search just to show you an example. You can see here there's different internship titles here because I selected internship. You can see the source is where the opportunity was originally posted. So this was on the organization's website. Usually when you scroll down, you'll see a couple that pull from Indeed. You can see when it was posted. And then if you want to see the full job description and apply, you can click on the title itself and it will jump you out to wherever it was originally posted. so you can learn more and then apply from that site. You can also save your search in CareerShift. This is a fun feature. So I oftentimes recommend using the same keywords that you use to search. So you can plug them in here, and then so we can try that out. And then you can say, send me alerts, and then you can choose the frequency. So this is a really nice passive way to just keep tabs on what opportunities are available so that you'll be one of the first to know. And just to note here too, in the advanced search criteria, you can adjust how long ago the positions were posted. So if you do 7 days and then change your save search to a weekly reminder, then every week you'll get the newest opportunities. So we know that was a lot about Handshake. I'm going to stop sharing for now and then just open it up for any questions that you have about Handshake. And I'm just now seeing all of your wonderful comments in the chat. So thank you so much for those. And if you have any questions in the chat, I'm happy to address them. All right. Okay. Oh, that's so nice to hear, Jessie. So Jessie's college roommate is still in a job that she got through Handshake 4 years ago. So it does work. We talk to a lot of students that are successful in their job and internship searches that find great opportunities through Handshake. So that's lovely to hear. All right. Does anyone have any questions about Handshake? Anything that's not clear? You're welcome to unmute and ask, or you can also type it in the chat.
Or if you have any just broad questions about job or internship searching or grad school searching, we're happy to kind of answer any questions you all have.
See, we got a question from Catherine saying, can I bring my resume to the Career Center to get feedback on? Yes, absolutely. Resumes are one of the things that we specialize in. So as a first stop for your resume, we highly recommend using our virtual career studio. So if you go to our careers.utah.edu website, you can see that there's a button for virtual support, and then there you can find information about the hours for our virtual chat. It's usually open Monday through Friday between 2 and 7 p.m. So you can get feedback that way. And there's also an email that Devin typed in the chat. So thanks, Devin, where you can send your resume or a cover letter to that email, and then we'll get feedback back to you within 1 to 3 business days. So those are great options to get your resume reviewed. And you don't have to already have a current resume. You're always welcome to come in and just have a general conversation about what you might include. So no matter what stage you're at with your resume, you're welcome to use the studio. And then if you're looking to specifically tailor your resume towards a particular job or internship opportunity, you're welcome to schedule an appointment with a career coach, and we can help you learn more about that as well. But you can also use the studio for that. So it's really your preference. So great question. Thank you, Catherine. Any tips for international students? Yeah, absolutely. In Handshake, there is actually an option in the filters when you search where you can identify if you're looking for opportunities that are approved for OPT or CPT. And for international students, there are a lot of things that you can consider. Ultimately, what we want you to know is that we really want you to feel empowered. Being an international student is such an amazing experience and quality that you have. So we can definitely talk to you about how you can market yourself in the best way with employers and opportunities. So you're welcome to schedule an appointment with a career coach, and we can talk more specifically about that. Let's see.
There's also a question about, does it ever backfire to include a lot of interests and or types of jobs that you're searching for? Katie, I'm not sure if you're speaking specifically to like the interests page that's in Handshake. I would say it won't necessarily backfire, but the more things you put on there, the more opportunities you're going to see. And so for some folks, that might feel really overwhelming to see a lot of opportunities. For some folks, that's exactly what you want. And so I think it's thinking through what are the most important things that you're looking for, what are the industries that you're most interested in, and then chunking out that process of searching for jobs or internships into small little pieces so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And that's certainly something that we can help you with too. We have a job and internship search career coaching appointment where we can help you do exactly that, really figure out how to kind of chunk out your process so that it feels hopefully less overwhelming.
Yeah, and that's one thing we want you to know today too. Sorry, Katie, I just saw you unmuted, so I'll finish and then turn it over to you. One thing we want you to know is we know that we showed you a lot of different features with Handshake today. And so please know, like, you can pace yourself, you can just pop in there, check out different things at different times. By no means do you have to do it all at once. And if you ever have questions about Handshake and how to use any of the features, that's also something that you can come to our Career Studio for. And we're happy to answer any of your questions anytime and give you a refresher. So just know, right, take it one day at a time, little by little. All right, Katie, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying thank you really quickly. I was also wondering, like, from the perspective of the potential employer, does it ever backfire or does it look bad? You know what I mean? Like the employer who
No, I
views your
don't think
profile?
so.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually when you click off or when you select interests in your career interest survey, typically it's basically to help you find and sort through opportunities. To my knowledge, employers can't see your career interest survey. What they do see is your profile. And so one thing that you can do is, if you would like to identify in your profile what kinds of industries or types of job or internships interest you, you can always include that in your little bio at the top of your Handshake profile. And if you just say like everything there, employers might say, well, like, it sounds like you don't really know what you want to do. So, I mean, you can always, it's really to your discretion, like what you share there. But yeah, usually your career interest is private to you. So great question. Devin, would you like to add anything else about Handshake that I missed?
One of the other questions that we were using the chat to answer was around opportunities in different areas that are out of state. And so I mentioned in the chat that Handshake is national. So you can find tons of different opportunities in any state that you want to look at. And if you want to filter by location, you can certainly do that. Or you can leave it open if you don't have a preference on where you look for opportunities. And as I think Megan mentioned, you can look for remote opportunities. So if, for example, you're looking for an internship currently and you'd like to find one that's remote, you know, maybe it's in a state that you don't necessarily want to actually go to for your internship, you can also search for remote work opportunities. And then if you're in Handshake and you're on that resources page that Megan showed us, if you scroll down a little bit further, we do have another resource called Going Global, and that's for global opportunities. So Handshake is national, but if you are interested in international opportunities outside of the United States, you can also use Going Global on our resources tab for that. So any other questions or things that we can help answer for you all while we have you here?
I think I just added or wanted to add one more thing too, in addition to internships. So usually when we talk to employers, they've said that internships are usually the #1 experience that they look for when they're hiring students who have recently graduated. And so while internships are great, we know that they're not always the best option for every student. And especially given that you all are transfer students, you probably have really intentional thoughts about how you're going to spend your time at the U. So we did want to kind of highlight the idea that you can still gain experience through a lot of other different ways, not just internships. So there's part-time and full-time employment, both of which you can find in Handshake. You can also do volunteer work. So for example, the Benyon Center has many different opportunities for community service. You can also do research. The Office of Undergraduate Research has a lot of different opportunities for you to get involved with faculty and do research that interests you. There's also a lot of ways that you can get involved with student leadership, such as through ASUU or even just by generally checking the student leadership and involvement office, they have a whole list of student organizations and clubs that you can get involved with. So really the big point that we want to highlight today is that no matter how you get involved, just gain experience, right? In addition to what your coursework is. And you don't necessarily have to get internships. They're great, but there are many other alternatives as well. And if you have more questions about those different types of opportunities, you're more than welcome to meet with a career coach and we can walk you through different things that might be the best fit for you.
And if anyone had been struggling in our activity to kind of identify your values, a really good way to start identifying them is to do exactly what Megan said, to just start trying stuff out to gain experience. Because oftentimes through some of those different opportunities, you may realize like things that didn't exist in that workplace that you really need. Or that it may be a great workplace and you really identify things that you need through that. So the more you get out there and try stuff, the more it really helps you figure out what you do need and want in a potential opportunity. So Winnie, I saw your question there, and Megan just put the link in the chat. So all of our career coaching appointments are now done through Handshake. So if you go up to that Career Center tab at the very top of Handshake, right before the resources tab that Megan clicked on, there's a schedule an appointment tab. And so that's how you can schedule a career coaching appointment with us.
And I'm also about to include another URL that you can go to where you can learn more about our undergraduate coaching team. So the nice thing about appointments is that you get to choose which career coach you would like to meet with based on your interests or your major, different things that you're looking for. So feel free to browse our whole team and then you can choose who you want to meet with. Devin and I would be more than happy to meet with any of you, but we have a really talented team. And so really you'll be in good hands no matter who you meet with.
Thank you so much, Devin and Megan. Before I drop the attendance link, which I know you're all patiently waiting for, Megan hit perfectly on our next few workshops. I'm dropping the link for those right now. So we do have the involvement ambassadors coming for our next workshop, and undergraduate research is our last workshop. So thank you, Megan, for hinting at those. And then I also want to let you all know on October 29th, our office is hosting a paint night, fright night. You can pick up free painting materials, and we're going to have a Bob Ross style guided paint night themed around Halloween. If you can't pick up materials or you don't feel comfortable, there's also a list on that event of what materials you would need, so you can still participate from home. And then lastly, everything that you've been waiting for. Here's the super long attendance link for you all. Again, what's going to happen when you click it, it's just going to bring you to the main events page, and a tiny little blue bar will pop up at the bottom saying your attendance has been recorded. If you're nervous about it, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll drop my email as well. And there's the link. Other than that, thank you all so much, Devin and Megan. Thank you again. This was a great workshop. Transfer students, you were all so participative. I wish my classes were as participative of you as you all are. That was so great to see that you're all learning so much and that you're actually engaged in these workshops. So thank you for that. If that's all, the Crimson Mentors will be around for a few more minutes if you have any questions, but if not, we'll see you at the next workshop. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you.